Being outside means being in the sun, and just as important as protecting your skin from the sun's harmful rays is protecting your eyes as well. Whether you're on the snow, water, dirt, or paved trails, a good pair of sunglasses will go a long way in making your adventure more comfortable for hours on end. After months of testing, we found our favorite pairs of performance sunglasses. So come along as we compare the good and bad of 6 different brands, and at the end, reveal to you our favorites. What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Sons of Sever YouTube channel, where there's no such thing as bad weather, only bad gear. My name is Eric, and today we are talking about 6 different pairs of performance sunglasses. So Chris and I are going to ping pong back and forth talking about the different pairs that we've been able to spend a few months testing, and at the end of it all, we're going to reveal to you what our favorite pairs are. As always, there are timestamps down in the description, so if you have a brand in mind and you want to go skip around, feel free to do that. So I'll go ahead and send it over to Chris to get us started.
I'm going to kick things off here with our first company, which is Epoch, and this is their L2. Quickly going over the specs, it is an ultra lightweight frame, 100% UVA and UVB protection, shatterproof polycarbonate lenses, hydrophobic and anti-scratch lens coating, and co-injected rubber nose pieces and temple accents. It also comes in 7 colors. This specific one is the bokeh. Eric went with the much more flamboyant switch, no surprise to anybody who watches the channel with that decision. Talking about the things that I like about these glasses, I think they're very comfortable. They are, in fact, very light, like the specs talk about. Getting into the arms and the nose piece, the arms are rubberized, but only on the inside, and they're not nearly as aggressive as some of the other rubberized arms we have. Some of the other ones straight up rip the hair out of my head on the sides of my head. These ones, I honestly didn't even notice that they were rubberized until I was preparing for this review. Then obviously we have a rubberized nose piece, and I find that nose piece to be fantastically comfortable. These lenses give you really good coverage from one side of your face to the other, so no distracting or hindering light is gonna squeeze its way through and mess you up during whatever activity you're using these for. I'll tell you the one thing that I don't like about them, and maybe it's just because this is the white colorway, but I noticed that these tend to pick up more junk in the corners than some of the other offerings that I have here. It's probably partly because it is an all-enclosed lens. Some of the other ones are open frames, but I would say that these ones tend to collect grime in them just a little bit more. So obviously I don't love that. But otherwise, I'm a huge fan of the Epoch L2, and coming in at the $59.95 price point, I think it's somewhat on par with some of the other offerings that we have here.
So the first pair that I'm going to talk about come from a company called Eyecandy gear. These are the Activate. Now, unfortunately, on the website, there's a pretty big lack of information with the specs. We know that these are 6 inches wide and that they're fully polarized, and that's pretty much all that it tells us about them. But that being said, I haven't noticed any sort of lack of performance out of their sun protection qualities. I think that they do just fine. Now, there's a few things that I really like about them, and then something that I'm not as fond of. But as far as the likes go, I feel like these are actually the most secure pair of sunglasses out of the bunch. So the nose piece that they have on, and then the rubberized arms that they have right there, do a really good job at keeping it in place as you're running around. They feel super secure, so I really like that. And I also like how big the coverage area is on these lenses. I think that if you're going to be out in the sun for hours and hours and hours on like a marathon or an ultra marathon, then these will do a really good job at blocking out the sun for you. Now, that strength of it staying in place super well also reveals what I think is the weakness to these sunglasses, and that is that they're probably the most uncomfortable pair that we have. I know that Chris has experienced his hair kind of getting pulled as he's taking them off because of those rubber sidearms. That's not an issue that I have, but I do feel the pinching on the nose, and really it's just when I'm wearing them casually, if I'm in the car driving. If I'm out running, I think my body has other problems going on, like my lungs are burning and my legs hurt, and so I don't notice the nose piece as much. But if I'm just sitting in my car, then I do notice. I'm like, oh yeah, these things are kind of uncomfortable. So a bit of a trade-off there. The really good thing about these ones, however, is they're only $30. So they're easily the cheapest pair that we've been able to pick up and try. Back over to Chris.
Next offering that I have for you to talk about is the Suncloud Optics Double Up. This specific one is the matte black with the polarized blue mirror lenses. Eric ended up going with, again, the more flamboyant matte crystal marine with the polarized aqua mirror lenses. Getting into the specs, they are a large fit. Eric and I have very different head sizes and these fit us both fine. They are polarized polycarbonate injection molded lenses, which I'm assuming, since that's similar to some of the other offerings we have, that they are also shatterproof, even though it doesn't mention it on the website. And the last thing in the product details is that they are 100% UV protective. Getting into my likes of the Double Up, I think these are really slim looking, just smooth, slick looking sports glasses. There's no sharp lines, but at the same time, it's not like a bubbly glasses look, which I appreciate. The coverage is really good from one side of my head to the other to keep light out. One thing I'll mention, which is interesting, and I don't like it or dislike it, but there is no rubberization on the arms of the glasses, which I find interesting compared to some of the other offerings that we've worked with. One thing I'll say that I don't like is that they do pinch a little bit more. You'll notice that those arms really contour in. I don't know if they just need more break-in time for my specific head, especially considering they're the large fit. I do have a larger head for the most part, but they do pinch just a little bit. Last thing to mention on the Double Up is the price point, which is usually about 80 bucks. So a little steeper than the Epics, but they're currently on sale for $63.96. So that definitely trims them down to closer in price to the L2s from Epic. Suncloud is one company that did send us also a casual pair, so I will mention those real quick. These are the Rambler. They are a small or medium fit. They more or less have all of the same specs as the Double Up, but they just come in this more normal form factor. So they just look good as a more casual sunglass, although I think you could totally wear these for sport. One thing that I love about these is that they are very light and they fit nice. They fit nicer, they pinch less than the Double Up. So I actually love these, and even though we're not considering these as far as like which company we like the best for sports glasses, overall I like these glasses a lot.
The next brand that we're going to be talking about is a brand that we're super proud to work with. This is Frontline Optics, and I'll go ahead and tell just a little bit about them first before I get into the sunglasses. So they were started by a guy who's been in the emergency services for about 10 years, and a portion of all of their proceeds go towards this charity that benefits kids who have lost parents in the front line of duty. So super important work that they're doing over at Frontline Optics. Again, we're super stoked to be able to be working with them. They are one of our affiliates. You can find a link down in the description to get to their website and go check out their stuff. So the glasses that we got from them, the first one are the 6440 Alpha, and as far as the specs go, this is a TR90 frame, and you've got a UV 400 lens, so that's pretty standard among all the ones that we've been trying so far. In my experience, these are kind of just middle ground. They don't excel at really anything, and they definitely don't suck at anything either. I think the nose piece on them does a good job at keeping them in place, and I think that the side arms might pinch a little bit more than some of the other ones that we've tried. Overall, a good pair of sunglasses, and they definitely have a good cause behind them, and I absolutely love that. And they come in at $58. So while these might not be my favorite pair of sports sunglasses, Frontline Optics did send us a casual pair, and these are my favorite casual sunglasses that have been sent to us. These are the Pomonas, and they cost $58, and I love them. They feel durable and quality, and I just really like the look of them. So again, if you're here looking at all these sunglasses and you want to do some good in the world as well, we would highly encourage you to go check out Frontline Optics. Before sending it back over to Chris, I wanted to mention some of the affiliates that we have going on with the channel right now. So with the cold weather upon us, we wanted to make sure that our feet were protected from that. So we reached out to some of our affiliate brands. We got our hands on some awesome barefoot boots that we could wear throughout the winter. The first one that I'm going to talk about is from Lems. So this is the Lems Boulder Boot Grip. It is an update to their popular boot because they finally put a grippy outsole on it. So it's something that you could take hiking. It does really well on wet and slippery surfaces. This is a boot that we really like. The next one is Xero Shoes. So they just came out with this boot. It's called the Ridgeway, and it's finally a boot from Xero that I actually like the look of, and we think that it performs pretty well. Go down in the description, find that link, and check out Xero Shoes. A newer one for us that we're pretty excited about is Bearfoot. This is the Bearfoot Bruin. We haven't gotten our review out of this one yet, but we are working on it. This is just a very sturdy and well-made boot, and one thing that makes it different than most Bearfoot boots is you can actually re-sole this one, so a pretty good value there. So again, I did want to mention Frontline Optics. They are one of our affiliates. We're super proud to be working with them because of the good work that they do. Again, a portion of all their sales go towards a charity that benefits kids who have lost parents on the front line. Go down in the description, check them out, send them some love. So we're pretty big fans of their sport glasses, and we are huge fans of their casual pomonas that we got from them. So if you're looking for a great pair of sunglasses and you want to do some good in the world, go and check out Frontline Optics. Now back over to Chris.
The next company I'm going to talk to you about is called Nordik Eyewear, and these are the Frig 2. Going over some of the important specs, these are the matte gray with the blue mirror lenses. They are photochromic and polarized, shatter resistant, and these specific lenses are the ice blue. They're 100% UV protective, and they come with some extras. So let's get into the extras real quick. We have 2 extra lenses. We have a yellow and a clear, which makes these so much more versatile. Yellow will let more light in if you feel like these are too shaded, and clear, obviously you can throw those in, have perfect eyesight, use these as safety glasses. They also come in this really, really nice case. I will say, personally, I think this is one of the more premium pairs of sports glasses that we received. At least they feel that way. They do a great job at blocking light out from all directions. The nose piece is very comfortable. The arms are rubberized, but they're not overly aggressive, so they're not ripping the hairs out the side of my head. And I really like the shape, and the fact that they are open frame, so I can switch lenses in and out, means that they're not going to collect as much junk, and they're going to be easier to clean. What do I not like about them? They are a little pinchy in the arm, similar to the double ups. I don't love how narrow the arms on these guys are. I am planning on wearing these for a half marathon here soon, so we'll see if that pinching bothers me, but I honestly really like those. Bonus content for them, they did send us a pair of their Ricker casual sunglasses that look really good. Now, one interesting thing about them is you can still see my eyes through them, which personally I don't love. They do have rubberized arms, and they are decently comfortable on the nose, and they do tout these as an alternative sports sunglass, although obviously they're not going to block out as much light from the sides. Lastly, talking about price point, usually the Frig 2 is $85. It's currently on sale for $68, and the Ricker comes in at $70, but is on sale currently for $56. I'm gonna give you my final opinion on which of these is my favorite in the outro, but to wrap things up with the last company, I'm gonna send things back over to Eric.
The last brand that I'm going to be talking about today is Eastern Outer, and there's a bit of a tragic story that goes along with these sunglasses. So I got a pair called the Short Fuse, and I absolutely loved these things. These are my favorite sunglasses of the bunch that we've gotten. So I loved the way that they felt. That's right, I said loved. I loved the way that they looked, and unfortunately, I lost them somehow. I am super, super bummed about it. Just a couple days before getting ready to film this thing, I started looking throughout the house, and I was like, where are my Eastern Outer sunglasses? I have no idea where they are. Hopefully they pop up eventually. I think what happened was I was wearing them so often that I got out of my routine of where I've been putting all my gear that needs to be tested, and somehow they just disappeared on me. As far as the specs go for the Short Fuse, it's a TR90 durable, flexible, lightweight thermoplastic for the frames. The lens is complete UV protection, which is UV 400, and they're polarized. So really great sunglasses, and I love that the frames are not completely enclosed. So in this really nice carrying case that they send to you, they included 3 other lenses with them. So you've got a black one, a yellow one, and a clear one. And then Eastern Outer, being as awesome as they are, also sent us a photochromatic lens. And this one was really cool. So I swapped this one out first to see how it worked. And I really liked it. So they're clear inside the house, obviously. And then you step out into the sun and they go dark. Now I did notice with them that if I had a hat on, if there was any shade over them, that it did take a while for them to darken up. So that is something to think about with the photochromatic ones. I really did like how they worked. I thought it was pretty cool. These ones come in at $55 too. So this is a cheaper pair compared to a lot of the other ones that we've been talking about today. Again, super tragic. I absolutely loved these things. They were my favorite ones. I think that they were the most comfortable. They come with extra lenses and a hard case, so they're very feature rich, and I'm just super sad that I can't find them. Chris decided to go with a different pair from Eastern Outer, so he went with the Flying Dog Snowstorm. As far as the specs go, they are a no-slip, lightweight, and high-impact resistant TR90 frame and a polarized lens, and they come in at $40. I know they're not his absolute favorites, but I think that they've performed pretty well for him. That's Eastern Outer. That wraps it up for me. I'm gonna send it over to Chris to finish up the video.
Before I wrap things up, I want to give you my final verdict on which one is my favorite of the sports glasses, excluding the casual glasses. If it were me, I would go with the Epoch L2. Very close second place is that Nordik Frig 2. Folks, if you liked this video, we would appreciate it if you would like and subscribe. Also, make sure to check out all of the affiliate links to the fantastic outdoor gear companies that we love down in the description. If you want to get more consistent content from us, head over to our Instagram and our Strava, where we post almost daily about the activities that we're doing and the gear that we're using while we're doing those activities. We're glad you're here. We appreciate your view. And as always, we will catch you in the mountains.